thank you for having faith in the Barty Pine Agency, Minister.
I was brought up to trust nobody, especially professional people into other people's bedroom windows. All the same, it's pretty simple. You can't really mess it up.
So good of you to say so, Minister.
Yes, I want you to find out everything you can about him.
I don't wish to cause embarrassment, sir, but quite frankly, is this a divorce matter?
There's no question of divorce. His name is Anthony Sidonia.
And where do I find him?
In some North Oxford cemetery, I imagine. He's dead.
Then, quite frankly, what do you want me to find out about him?
Everything you can. Especially if he always told the truth.
Coffee, Greg?
Thank you, dear. It's a hard decision.
I shall say no to Fallowfield country town. I shan't be changing my mind again.
2477?
Hello, Ken Cracken, Junior Minister Heap. Could I speak to Mr. Greg Boland, please?
Yes, he's just here. He says he's Ken Cracken, the junior minister.
Hello? Boland here.
We're looking for someone with real experience to become chief advisor to a brand new planning department.
What attracts us to you is that you understand politics.
Well, I'm an architect by trade. I don't know where the politics comes in.
Comes into everything, doesn't it? The trick in your present inquiry is to come up with the right decision at the right moment.
I thought we weren't going to discuss Fallowfield.
Of course not. That would be quite inappropriate.
Improper.
Entirely wrong.
Until you've announced your decision.
Which, of course, we're looking forward to with enormous interest.
But it would be pretty short-sighted not to recognize the political climate nowadays.
The truth is, Leslie Titmuss has become ozone-friendly.
He's come out for the rhino and broadleaf trees. Hedgerows, butterflies, chemical-free farming, unpolluted streams.
The major political development of the last 2 years is something entirely different. Nothing to do with the environment.
No. More something to do with housing.
I'm afraid I don't understand. The outstanding event of our time is that Leslie Titmuss decided to buy Lapstone Manor.
So, naturally, he's a bit concerned about what goes on in his back garden.
I'm sure you're not suggesting, either of you, that I should allow the position of the Secretary of State's house to have the slightest effect on my decision.
Of course not.
God forbid.
No effect at all.
Your decision will be based, I'm sure, on sound environmental principles,
Fulfilling our duty to our planet Earth.
of which we've but got a lease for a short number of years. I'm sure the Secretary of State would be delighted if you made that the basis of your decision to stop the development.
Well, what's Mr. Titmuss got to do with the basis of my decision?
Absolutely nothing. Provided it doesn't mean a new town being planted on top of him. If that can be avoided, I know he'd be extremely grateful and we'll look forward to you joining us as our new overall planning advisor.
I'm sorry. I have to go now. I have a great deal of work to do, redrafting my conclusions. You can tell the Secretary of State he will have my full report before the month's over.
Worked like a charm. You'll go to the stake for Fallowfield Country Town after that.
You handled him beautifully.
You've got a great deal of political talent yourself, as well as being an absolutely delightful screw. Hardly worth going back to the office, is it?
Hardly worth it at all.
Now, as I am informed that the planning officer's report is to give the go-ahead for a new town in the Repstone Valley, what is certain is that Leslie Titmuss, with the unshakable integrity which has been a characteristic of his career, will keep his promise to follow the public inquiry's recommendations. He is not likely to allow his own personal comfort to get in the way of what he considers best for England. Did you give this to the Chatterbox column?
No, sir.
Well, who did? All right, no need to tell.
Now, if you could follow me through here. I'm so very, very pleased you could make it, actually. It's very kind of you all. Now, this particular... Would you all come this way, please? This particular place is very, very interesting for a number of reasons. A lovely story here about Disraeli, who's a member of the opposition.
Well, this seems to have the crack and ring to it.
I'm not a journalist, Secretary of State, and I'm here with these good people from my constituency.
You may not be a journalist, but you've as many leaks in you as a rusty sieve. I think it's about time you and I had worked together.
Why don't I take you all to find a cup of tea or a drink? See you later,
I do realise it's embarrassing for you.
Not half as embarrassing as it's going to be for you, my lad.
I don't know why you're so worried about that piece in the paper. It's perfectly true, isn't it?
True, he's given the go-ahead for the new town, yes.
And true, you promised to abide by his decision.
I know what you want, Ken Kraken.
I'm not sure I want anything in particular. After all, I don't live in Rapstown.
Oh, you may not, but you're as thick as thieves with Christopher Kempenflatt. How much did he contribute to party funds last year?
That's ridiculous. All sorts of businessmen contribute to our party funds.
No, I'm not suggesting you're out for money, although I'd like to bet you and that toothy little assistant of yours have got a summer fixed up on Kempenflatt's boat around the Greek islands. Just watch he doesn't push you in, that's all. If he doesn't, I might. I know exactly what you're after.
Well, we should let me into the secret.
You want me to go back on my word, don't you? You want me to reject the inspector's findings. You want me to save my own back garden. Titmus, you'll be able to tell them all in the bloody tea room, is using his job to protect his own interests. How very unlike Ken Kraken, the political virgin who's never been screwed by the construction industry.
I've no doubt you'll find a very convincing way of putting it, if you want to stop the new town, that is.
Oh, yes. How do you suggest I do it?
Start with, in view of all we know about the environment, having regard to this government's very real commitment to preserve the British countryside. How about something along those lines?
Do you want to write the speech for me? Then you'll be sure it sounded like a load of lies.
It seems to be a matter between you and Greg Bowman, the inspector. If you want him to think again about his report, you should...
Oh, I think I'll leave that sort of arm twisting to you.
I was going to say, you know as well as I do, the inspector's as straight as a die. If you or I asked him to do anything, he'd fly off in the opposite direction.
Is that how you managed it? Well, it's happened. The inspector's report's come out in favour of Fallowfield Country Town. So far as he's concerned, the bulldozers can move in tomorrow.
Well, what about as far as you're concerned?
I undertook to accept the results of the inquiry. I've got to keep my word, haven't I? Otherwise, I'd just be a shifty politician, not fit to be mentioned in the same breath as the wonderfully honest Mr. Anthony Sidonia.
I don't know what you mean.
No, you probably don't.
I knew the secrets of all my gals. They used to confide in me. I insisted on that. Tell me, Pyle.
The name, Dame Felicity, is Pine. Barty Pine.
Mrs. Maybe. You did say you were writing a history of the Ballet Capulet.
Oh, yes, Dame Felicity. That's why I'm here. Of your ballet company.
How very interesting that will be.
Dame Felicity, does the name Myra Sidonia mean anything to you?
Myra Sidonia. Why ever should you bother me with questions about her?
You want to speak about the Blaine Biology Library?
I want to include that. Yes, of course, Sir Willoughby. In the piece I'm writing on St. Jerome's for the Fortress Colour Mag.
One doesn't want to blow one's own trumpet, but it's just one of the facts of life that one has a pretty high profile.
Like so many of the chaps at St. Jerome's, distinguished scholars.
Well, of course.
I was thinking of Anthony Sidonia, on history.
Ecclesiastical history. He's dead now, I'm afraid.
Of course.
He made that series on the Renaissance popes. What was it called?
Yes, it's on the tip of my tongue.
In the Shadow of the Triple Crown.
Yes, of course.
He did it rather well. Looked quite attractive. Our less photogenic historians felt rather miffed. A touch of the Schumann, they said about Tony Sidonia.
Jealous?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I think so. They suggested he only got the job because his then-girlfriend worked for the telly. But she was only a researcher, I believe, and I don't think that had anything to do with it. Anyway, the programs were very popular. Academics hate that.
Of course, they were extremely scholarly.
Oh, yes, I think so. Although, I don't believe Tony ever really got to grips with Savonarola. Not that I know. I mean, I'm just a poor biologist.
I think I might have met the girl who worked on those programs. What was her name again?
Oh, Briar, was it? Something decidedly prickly. Bramble. Bramble. Sarah, or perhaps Susan Bramble.
Who was the chap you say Tony never got to grips with? Savannah something.
Savonarola.
I wouldn't mind meeting him if he's still around.
I'm afraid he's not. They bumped him in Florence, quite early in the 16th century. You have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. College business.
Atma Films.
That's my company. We're doing a number of documentaries on historical subjects. Of course, one day we hope to go into features, when we've built up a reputation.
Why ask me out to lunch?
The shadow of the Triple Crown, Miss Bramble. What a subject. Sex, religion, fantastic locations, and all on a low budget, I imagine.
Of course, it had to be.
I managed to get a tape of it out of the BBC, and I spotted your name on the credits.
I was only the producer's assistant, sort of general dog's body, but it was fun.
I'm sure it was. And that narrator, what was his name?
Tony Sidonia.
What erudition, combined with charm.
Yes, Tony was very charming.
Well, it's not so much a moral question. It's more a question of educational technology.
Well, you mean Don shouldn't go to bed with their students?
Well, it's not the bed part so much, it's what it leads to. A warping of the pupil-teacher relationship.
Yes.
It's favoritism in tutorials, sexually induced marking. And then, when it all busts up, there's tears in lectures and feelings of rejection that can seriously impair performance at finals. That's why we don't find bed hopping with pupils acceptable conduct at St. J's. Of course, there have been exceptions.
What exceptions?
Well, there must have been exceptions.
Yes. I wanted to ask you a few questions about one of your dons. Sidonia?
He does seem to have become the flavour of the month. The last few months, anyway.
Has he?
Yes, I had a call from a most extraordinary fellow asking about Tony. He said he was working for the Fortress. I suspected that was a lie.
It was.
Oh, you know about him?
Yes, he was working for me. Yes, I suppose he made a prize idiot of himself, didn't he?
Well, he knew absolutely nothing about Savonarola.
Well, he had his uses, filling in the background. I'm relying on you to complete the picture.
Oh, my God. Tony wasn't the fifth man, was he?
What?
Is that why the government...
You don't have to concern yourself what he was. Just tell me everything you know.
Well, not an awful lot, I'm afraid, about Tony's private life.
Nonsense. You know all about the private lives of people in Oxford. Is that where it's going to stand?
What exactly?
The Blaine Biology Library. I made some inquiries. The DES has certain funds for educational developments of special value to industry and commerce.
Secretary of State, is there really a hope?
Of course, I shall have to have a word with my colleagues about it. Now, you were telling Pine you remember a girl called Susan Bramble.
got to be got rid of. You've got to get rid of him.
If you mean Tony, I think he's gone already.
He's not gone yet. He's been here all the time since we were married. I knew that in Rome, in that restaurant of yours. He was there, sitting between us, so you could compare me with him.
Please don't.
Of course, you're wrong about him. You've got it all wrong.
I told you I'm tired.
I'm tired as well. Tired of your late husband, your Tony. This won't take very long. I'll just run over the main points. His mother, for instance.
She was a dancer.
Don't you believe it? She worked in the wardrobe. Even then, she was always pretending to be someone important. All her stories about dancing, the parties she went to, probably her lovers, were all about another girl, a real ballet dancer who died. You think your Tony didn't know?
You mean Myra made things up?
Most things, including the husband killed in the war. So far as I can discover, she never married anyone.
So far as you can discover. What have you been doing?
Finding things out. I made it my business. Don't you think I had a right to?
Things about Myra? What on earth does it matter?
Not much, except I had to tell you. Sidonia comes from a family of liars. When it comes to his lies, of course, it's difficult to know where to start.
I don't want to hear.
No, you've got to listen, though, now. It's only fair.
Fair?
Fair to me. You've never been that, have you? You're not going. Now, how should I start? The affairs with students. He told you he didn't have them, didn't he? Well, that was his way of making you feel specially wanted until you'd passed your exams and got your reward. All lies. Will he be blamed, Tony? At least twice, the college nearly got rid of him because of all the girls that passed through his bed on the way to their exams.
Even if that's true, what does it matter now?
Doesn't it matter? About him and Sue Bramble?
Of course I knew about that. She'd been with Tony before, well before we fell in love. She'd been his girlfriend for years.
For years after you were married?
That's not true.
When he went to London to lecture, to go to dinners of the Historical Association, he was supposed to be staying in his club. Such a gentlemanly, old-fashioned excuse, wasn't it? And when Sidonia went to do his film in Rome, the one your friend Sue worked on, he didn't want you to drive down through France with the crew, did he?
I flew out to Rome. I was with him.
Yeah, you joined him. After he slept with your friend in all the hotels during a scenic trip through Europe. And then he lied to you. Come to that, they both lied to you.
You don't know. Anyway, how do you know?
I had a man. He talked with all the people who worked with Sidonia. Everyone knew about it. Well, except you, of course.
You had a man?
Yes.
You mean a detective?
He's a bit of a fool, quite honestly. In the end, you always have to do most of the work yourself.
You mean you went round asking questions, trying to find out whether Tony slept with people and where he did it?
I didn't try, I succeeded.
What for? Whatever for?
So you'd be free of him.
Free?
All right, say we'd both be free. I did it for both of us.
I don't understand.
I'm sure you will when you come to think about it. You've had a shock, of course. But in the end, you'll come to realize I did the right thing. It had to be done sooner or later.
It didn't have to be done.
I'll leave you in peace if you like.
Peace? How can I be in peace now?
I'll sleep next door. I think you'll find the worst's over.
We had such a mad rush on our gourmet frozen lapin dinners, we had a job to get away tonight.
Jeff, you know what's causing more damage to the ozone layer than anything?
You tell me.
Millions and millions of termites expelled from the rainforests, creating gases.
This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a termite's fart.
Cher, when are you going to start taking the universe seriously?
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. You have always been interested in apparently hopeless causes. When the planners and developers decided to move the population of Israel into Egypt, you didn't just sit down and accept the situation, did you, O Lord? You organized a march led by Moses and a few other like-minded people. Bless, O Lord, this candlelit march and all-night vigil in the Rapston Valley. I would also like to thank Mrs. Curdle, who is sponsoring hot drinks throughout the night and continental breakfast.
Who is it?
It's me.
Jenny! What is it? You look terrible.
Are you on your own?
Worse luck. Come in. It's wonderful to see you.
Not so wonderful, I'm afraid. Not now.
What's happened?
Oh, everything seems to have happened.
Poor Jenny. I can imagine. Has Mr. Titmuss turned out awful? You will stay here, won't you? What else can I do to help?
I suppose you can tell me the truth.
Would it be pointless to say I'm sorry? You're always special to Tony. Absolutely special. Didn't make any difference to his feelings for you.
I don't know. I don't know what difference it made. But everything's changed. It's changed forever.
I'm sorry you had to find out. What are you going to do now?
I don't know at all.
You can't go back to Leslie.
No, I suppose not.
Not to a man who sets on detectives.
No.
Stay here tonight, anyway.
No, I don't think I can.
Because you can't forgive me.
I don't feel I can do anything yet.
And I'll move out somewhere. You can stay here on your own.
No, I'll go, honestly. I need to think.
Can't you think here?
No, I don't think I can.
You won't believe it, but we've been up all night singing We Shall Overcome. My father would have loved it. You look exhausted.
I've been up all night too.
Let me get you a cup of coffee. Why don't you pull off onto the verge?
It's no good finding out about people.
You found out about Leslie?
Ah, yes. Yes, I suppose I did. Never have guessed.
No?
I'm sorry, there's no point in talking.
There probably is. We don't fall in love with people, we fall in love with our idea of people.
Don't say that.
I had a patient, a rather timid sort of man, terrified of height. And his wife fell in love with him because she got some idea into her head that he was mad about rock climbing. She made him go up all sorts of mountains, and he didn't like to tell her the truth.
What happened to him?
He fell off the Matterhorn and broke his neck.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, she discovered that he was really only interested in bird watching. They became quite happy in the end. She settled for him as he was.
Is that what I ought to do?
Drive on, Gary. What I mean is, you had to find out the truth about Leslie. Now you've got to decide if you can live with it.
Marriage guidance, is that what you've been giving me?
Awful, isn't it? A patient of mine found it so repulsive she settled for sex instead.
Not serious.
I promise you. Where are you going now?
Not sure. Thank you. You've done me good.
Now you're treating me like a doctor. Nobody thinks of their doctor as a person.
No. How ought I to think of you?
On your side. Whatever happens.
Thank you, Gary.
Is it Heathrow tomorrow, sir?
What? Yes, Heathrow tomorrow, yes. Thank you. Jenny! 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 I thought you would be back.
Yes, I came back. No point in not forgiving.
Forgiving? You don't mean you've forgiven Sidonia?
I meant forgiving you. I'm going to make some tea.
What the hell have you got to forgive me for?
For what you did to me. I don't suppose you could have thought of anything much worse. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, I do. I suppose you kidded yourself. I was all wrong about your late husband. You think I've slandered his blessed memory.
Not that. I went to see Sue.
I suppose she lied to you.
I'm afraid she told me the truth.
So, what am I supposed to have done wrong?
I don't see there's any point in talking about it.
Well, I see the point. I have a right to know what you've got against me.
I had a life. It was mine until I met you. I was in love with a man. He might have tricked me. I don't know why he should have, but perhaps he did. Anyway, I loved him. He's dead now, so there's nothing more to be done about it. But to pay someone money to pry and to peer into everything that happened to me behind my back...
So you only did things behind your back, remember?
Perhaps for love.
Why do you think I did it?
How can I tell?
Because I had a right to, that's why. I always came second.
You came afterwards. Did that give you a right to spy on me?
Not on you, on him.
On someone dead?
Not dead to you. That's what I told you. I'm not ashamed of what I did. Why should I be?
All right, then. I'll have to be ashamed for you. I've thought about it all as much as I can. I think you did something awful. So awful, I still can't believe it. No one had the right to do that to me. No one. But I took a risk when I married you, a deliberate risk. I didn't really know what you'd be like, and you turned out to be like this. So you are. All right. We can try and forget this ever happened. Perhaps we can.
You want to forget about Sidonia?
About what you've done. If we're going to live together.
You want to forgive me?
I want to stay with what we've got left. I don't want to run away.
You've been around, complaining about me.
Talk to Sue.
Did you talk to the doctor?
What?
Did you tell Fred Simcox about your troubles?
Perhaps I started to tell him.
Oh, yes. And did he tell you to forgive me? It's just the sort of bloody patronizing thing he would do. Tell him that when you next see him.
No, I will not tell him. No one else has got anything to do with this.
I refuse to be forgiven. Not by you, not by him, not by anyone. You understand?
Perhaps forgiven is the wrong word.
Oh, what's the right word then? Overlook? Make allowances because I don't know any better. Maybe my feelings aren't quite as delicate as yours and your friends. Oh, Leslie Titmuss wears the wrong suit and the wrong tie, but you've got to make excuses. He was tactless enough to tell the truth in a common sort of way. The poor bastard doesn't know any better, so we'll have to forgive him. Do you think I want to spend the rest of my life being forgiven by you? Do you think I'm going to sit here being tolerated?
You won't have to. We won't have a talk about it.
No. We won't talk about it. Because we won't be together. We can't be now.
Why not?
Because I'm not prepared to forgive you for forgiving me. For God's sake, can't you understand? There's going to be a new town. That's decided. You won't like it. Your friend the doctor's going to hate it. I can't be sure I'll like it much myself. I tried to stop it for you, but in the end, I couldn't.
Perhaps that's the best that can happen. Things can't stand still, can they? It's no good being in love with the past all your life. That's what we're empowered to tell people. At least it'll be something different. You won't want to live here anymore, will you? Not when it's surrounded by supermarkets and multi-story car parks and all those things you lot wish people didn't want nowadays.
And you, where would you want to live?
In the future. After all, I made it happen.
Are you sure this is what you really want?
You haven't left me any choice.
I think I have.
To be forgiven or forgotten. I'd best be forgotten.
I shan't forget you, I can promise that.
Bloody hell's that? Oh, God. Only a rubber Johnny, that's all. Made use of course. They're animals. They're animals. They're bloody animals, that's what they are. No, I wouldn't insult the animals calling them that.
Well, congratulations, Ken. You've done very well out of this, haven't you?
You mean out of the new town? I think you've done well, Leslie. Your reputation for selflessness is higher than ever.
No, I don't mean the new town. That's ancient history. I mean the reshuffle. Your new job, Ken. Your great opportunity.
Opportunity?
Oh, yes. You're the new generation after all. The young lad with the future before him. As for me, well, I've thought things over. Perhaps it's time I made a nuisance of myself on the back benches.
You're going to retire?
I made a mistake, it seems. I better be moving on before I make any more.
I suppose that will mean a reshuffle.
But I hope you'll enjoy your new job, Ken.
Thank you, I'm sure I will.
I had a word about you in the appropriate quarter.
That was very generous.
I thought so. I pointed out your special talents. You do have special talents, don't you, Ken?
Well, I'm not sure which ones you're talking about.
Strategic, tactical talents. Young Kraken, I said, is a genius at guerrilla warfare. He lives in dreams, ambushes, and surprise attacks. In his briefcase, he carries a para-lieutenant swagger stick. He'll do well where the fighting is certain to go on forever. So, you've got it, Kenneth.
Ministry of Defense.
Oh, no, this is something that'll suit you much better than that. This really is active service. You're going to be number 2 at the Northern Ireland office.
sorry. Am I late?
It's all right, I was early. 2 white wines, please.
Dry wines? Something happened.
Something, I suppose you could call it something. Leslie's gone. It's all over.
What is?
Us.
I see.
And that's not the only thing. The house seems to be over as well.
Rapston?
Anyway, they're going to build a new town all around it.
Oh, of course, I've read about that. I'm sorry.
I'm coming up to London.
To the flat?
Got to live somewhere.
I told you I'd move out. I'll go today.
No need for that. No need for you to go. I don't really want to be alone, not for a while. Stay if you think it'll be all right.
What do you mean, if it'll be all right?
Well, after that awful business of me finding out.
How on earth was that your fault?
Well, I suppose none of that would have ever happened if I hadn't taken on Leslie Titmuss.
They reckon it was lager louts from Worsfield that done it. The warden heard nothing.
Mother?
It's those woods. They're not safe. Anything could happen to you there.
I'm going to sell the manor. There's no good rattling about in that old mausoleum now, is it?
But it was to be your home, Leslie.
It's not my sort of home, really.
I suppose you're not going to tell me what went wrong then exactly.
She couldn't make a steak and kidney to touch yours, Mother.
There wasn't somebody else, was there?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Another man? She didn't seem that sort of girl at all to me. Appearances are deceptive.
Yes. I'll tell you what we'll do if they build this new town while we're both around, Mother.
You will be, Leslie.
We'll get them to put in a new house. Just where this one is. A new spruce system. Well, you'd like that, wouldn't you? And you'd be in the middle of town, you see. Handy for the shops.
His place will see me out, Leslie.
Well, we'll have to see. There's a long time to go yet.
I'm sorry. About the other man.
Oh, don't worry about him. I think I've seen him off. I shan't be lonely.
I don't know how Jenny could do that. Not when she had you, Leslie. Won't you take pity on this last little bit?
No, thank you very much. I couldn't fit it in. It was very tasty, Mother. Very tasty indeed.
Age theme park. Walk into the future at Fallowfield Space Age theme park.